Do this semester is we're going to start looking at websites based on the total structure of the content that is in that site. So, for example, if you have a website and it's got a home page, it probably has other pages. Now, the menu won't necessarily always look like this, but it'll have stuff like, let's zoom out a little bit. It'll have about the company, it'll have services, it'll have products, it'll have maybe testimonials or a blog, maybe frequently asked questions or contact page. So these might be some basic structures. Now I want you to notice that these arrows that I've drawn are actually all connected as a first or primary primary link out of the home page. You can go from the home page to testimonials, and from those you can actually hop right over to about, and so on and so forth. These are primaries. Because we do a lot of structures that are menus and submenus, you're very familiar with this. You'll also have things like under about, you'll have our story or our team or maybe our mission and our values. Okay, and I'm not going to put the arrows on this one, but you'll have under your services, you'll have service 1, service 2, 3, and 4, and so on and so forth. Products, same sort of thing. You might even have sub menus, like services might have other things that cascade out of 1 or 2 or all of these. Okay, what I want you to do as you look at websites, and I want you to look at them both in a mobile environment and a laptop or a computer environment, possibly even a tablet environment. And I want you to look at how these sites are structured and how the content of the site as a whole is structured. And then I want you to drill down into a specific page, and I want you to see how maybe the products or the services or the about menu is structured, and then how that specific about page is structured. And look at each page and go, well, is there something common about each of these pages, that they're structured the same across the site? Are certain categories structured the same? Are certain types of websites structured the same? Okay. Then as we move on, and this is going to be looking a little bit ahead in the class, we're going to be looking at sites that do things, or sites that inspire a customer to do things. And we're going to talk about simple and even more complex processes that a person who's using that website, either as a tool, as a store, as a mode of expression, what are processes that they follow? So a simple process will have a beginning, it'll have various steps that the user steps through, and then it'll have an ending point, a success, maybe even a failure. Okay, and that process might look something kind of like this. In an e-commerce platform, you would say, I'm going to log into my site, say Amazon, I'm going to search for an item, I'm going to select that item, I'm going to add it to a cart, I'm going to check out, submit my payment, and then that process is over. But some processes are a little more complex. So let's look at a slightly more complex process. That might be a decision process, where a person would begin, they would process through the first few steps, and then they would hit a question, a decision. That question can be binary, it can have a yes or a no, it can be red or blue, it can have two choices. And those choices simply say if the answer is A, then it progresses on forward. If it's B, it progresses into an alternate set of steps. Okay? Again, this right here could be an A versus B, or yes versus no. And let's take a look at one of those yes versus no. And it goes log in, search, select the item. Is it in stock? If it's yes, then you can add it to the cart, check out, and go on about your business. If the answer is that it's not in stock, then maybe you would contact the seller. What are some alternate things that you would do in a no scenario? And these scenarios, depending on what that question is, in stock, red versus blue, something else, then those are going to change what this next alternate path would be. Of course, some of these are not one are not two path decisions. Some of them are multi decision paths. So you'll actually see this little diamond that gives you two paths out, cascade into yet another diamond, so that if it's in stock, maybe then if the answer is no, maybe you select a different color, maybe you select a different size, maybe you select a different vendor. That's the sort of thing. So as you start on this first before class 1 assignment, I want you to just kind of open your eyes. Look at the websites that you use. If they're social media websites, are there certain paths, are there certain processes that you follow from start to finish that you could articulate in class? Are there certain processes that are decision-based processes where you get to a point you have to make a decision, yes versus no, red versus blue, and can you articulate what that decision process is? All I want you to do is open your eyes when you're looking at websites. And again, the last thing one of the primary things I want you to look at is the overall structure. And notice the categories of websites you look at: e-commerce, social media, video sites like YouTube. Are there other kinds of websites you're using? Are you using certain tools like academic tools where you would log in and you would you'd use this tool and it would put something out onto the screen for you? That's your intro. And this is one of the ways that I will communicate to you for upcoming assignments. I hope you enjoy this, and I look forward to seeing you in class number 1.